You know that feeling when you go to a wedding and it's just flawless? Where every single moment flows perfectly into the next without a single hiccup? Well, that feeling of pure effortlessness, it is not an accident. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the real architecture behind a truly seamless wedding day. Think about it from a guest's point of view. It's supposed to be this beautiful story unfolding, right? The ceremony starts on time, you glide over to the cocktail hour, the music is just right, and dinner just happens. It all feels so natural, almost like magic. And that's really the heart of it. For the venue, for the couple, the only thing that matters is what the guests perceive. Their perception is the event's reality. End of story. So, what happens when that carefully built illusion of calm starts to, well, crack? It usually starts with something really small, something you can't quite put your finger on at first. Maybe the ceremony is delayed. We're not talking hours, maybe just 5 or 10 minutes. But you see guests start to fidget, they're checking their watches. The energy shifts. Or maybe it's that weird, awkward pause between dinner courses that's just a little bit too long. It completely breaks the rhythm of the whole evening. And then you might catch it out of the corner of your eye, a quick, tense chat between two staff members. All of a sudden, that perfect illusion feels really fragile, and you just know something's a little bit off. Okay, so let's dig into this. A lot of venues think that any logistical hiccups can be kept hidden. But the honest truth is, on a wedding day, there's really no such thing as a behind-the-scenes problem. That backstage confusion always finds a way to leak out into the open. It shows up as those delayed starts, clumsy transitions, or awful microphone feedback right in the middle of a heartfelt speech. You can even see it on the faces of the staff when they look stressed or are having hushed, urgent talks where everyone can see them. And this is the crucial part. Your guests have no idea that the caterer got the wrong timeline or that the DJ wasn't told about a last-minute layout change. They don't see the cause. All they feel is the effect, disorganization. And that feeling, that's what they're going to remember. Now let's look at how these tiny mistakes build on each other, because they never happen in a vacuum. They actually trigger this cascade of problems that can totally derail the momentum of the entire wedding. It's something we call the timeline compression effect. So when one supplier, let's say the catering team, is running just a little bit late, it doesn't just impact them. Nope. It forces every other supplier to scramble and try to make up for that lost time, which just kills any margin for error. I mean, check this out. This is the domino effect in action. The caterers are late clearing the plates. Because of that, the DJ has to delay the couple's big entrance. And because of that delay, the photographer misses that perfect golden hour light for those once-in-a-lifetime photos. And boom, just like that, the entire energy and flow of the reception is gone. And it's not just about timing, either. It creates what we call the stress ripple. All that tension among the staff, the hurried walking, the sharp tones, it becomes this emotional undercurrent. And trust me, guests are like emotional sponges. They soak that tension right up, even if they can't quite explain why they feel uneasy. So, what's at the root of all this chaos? 9 times out of 10, it comes down to the systems being used for coordination, or more accurately, the lack of a real system. Let's break down why the methods most people use are pretty much designed to fail. Just look at what venues often rely on. We're talking about those endless email chains where nobody's sure which attachment is the final version. Or sprawling WhatsApp groups where critical info gets totally buried. And verbal confirmations? They mean absolutely nothing when something goes wrong. There's just no accountability. Look, these informal systems might seem okay during the early planning stages, but on the actual wedding day, when the pressure is on, they completely crumble. They just aren't built to handle the pace and complexity of a live event. All right, so let's pivot from the problem to the solution. How do the best venues totally sidestep this collapse? Well, they don't wing it. They build an architecture of calm. They have a literal blueprint for a successful event. A really solid professional system has very clear parts. There's a centralized dashboard, so every single supplier is looking at the exact same information. There's a confirmation protocol, which forces everyone to sign off on logistics days beforehand. There's a clear communication hierarchy, specific time windows for setup, and shared tech documents. No guesswork. The goal here is simple, but it's incredibly powerful. Create so much clarity before the event that you completely eliminate the need for risky, on-the-fly improvisation on the day itself. When everybody knows the plan actually works.
And when a venue operates with this kind of structure, it creates something really special called the authority advantage. And it's not about being a drill sergeant. It's about creating a system that protects the event, protects the couple, and protects every single supplier involved.
And the payoff here is just massive. Other suppliers actually respect and follow the venue's process because it's documented and clear. If there's a disagreement, it gets solved quietly by just looking at the plan, not by having a tense argument. And most importantly, the guest experience is totally protected, and the couple gets to just enjoy their day completely insulated from any of that backstage stress.
This is the key idea to take away. Real authority, real control over an event doesn't come from yelling orders. It comes from a well-designed, structured system that everybody understands, trusts, and can rely on.
So when you boil it all down, it comes to this. That feeling of effortless perfection you get at a great wedding, it's an illusion, yeah, but it's a beautiful and a very intentional one. It's not a product of luck. It is meticulously engineered through structure, clarity, and rock-solid communication. And that leaves us with one final question for anyone out there planning or hosting a big event. Is your coordination just an accident waiting to happen, or is it a carefully designed architecture built for success?